All right, let's try this again. Round 2. Hoping this stream is able to work correctly on all socials. How's everybody doing on this Sunday night? There you go. Now it's live on Instagram as well. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. I'm still trying to stream a little bit more in a continuous manner. I see right there it's live on TikTok, so live on my Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. What's up, Raider Bandido, my guy, all the way up there in Northern California, Santa Rosa. Ready for training camp over there. Back again for the Silver and Black. I'm excited, man. Hopefully you're able to make it out there. My guy, IE Raider, shout out to you. Shout out to Raquel. Shout out to all the Raider Nation tuning in. It's the off season. Tomorrow's when free agency starts, and it's gonna be busy. So right now, I'm just enjoying some wrestling. I'm a huge AEW fan. Let me know if the audio from my monitor is bleeding into the broadcast here on whichever social network you're watching me on. Live on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. It's my first time broadcasting on my personal YouTube. Of course, I broadcast a lot on the former La Nacion Raider YouTube, now Somos Malosos. We've been getting a lot of traction with the news as of late with the Raiders. Geno Smith, the new quarterback for the Silver and Black. I don't get some folks not liking what the Raiders did there. I mean, who else were they going to get? Look at the free agents. I mean, it's not a great crop. Look at the guys that are going to get drafted. There's no guys that are like clearly day one starters like a Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels last year. Even Drake May, he was competing for the job in training camp. Bo Nix competed for the job in training camp. It wasn't a sure thing. Of course, Caleb and Jaden, they were going to start no matter what in day one from what they had seen. My guy, Ruben Zamora, what's up? From down the street, yes sir, out here in Las Vegas. Chavez 90 re-signed. Angel 714 Raider Nation, yes sir. Shout out to the Raider Nation for tuning in here today. I'm gonna try to eventually have these scheduled at a set time and not just pop up out of nowhere with surprise streams, because that way it makes it easier for anybody that for some reason wants to listen to what I got to say, to be able to tune in at a certain time. But right now, like I said, I'm watching some AEW wrestling. Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita, two of the best wrestlers in the world. I got my popcorn from the movie theater last night. We went to the movies, my lady and I, and we had some leftover popcorn, so I'm able to enjoy some popcorn. We're watching wrestling. Pretty much every match has happened except the big ones right here. Kenny, V-Trigger, 2 count. Kenny Omega versus Takeshita is going on right now. Then you got Will Ospreay, in my opinion, the best wrestler in the world, going on against Kyle Fletcher, who is incredible. They're going to have a cage match. Will Ospreay says he has never had a cage match, so that should be interesting. And then the main event, Jon Moxley versus Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge. I don't have high expectations on that one. This match has been really good. The next match is going to be really good. The main event scene has been pretty disappointing with AEW as of late with Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. But, well, hopefully today they surprise me. Angel says he just moved to Vegas from Anaheim. Welcome, man. Welcome to our city. I always say that you got to survive at least 3 summers in Las Vegas to consider yourself a local. I've been here already 8 years, so. And plus, almost all my life I've lived in the desert, either Torreon, Mexico, El Paso, Texas, or here in Las Vegas. Chavez 90 says, Adam Butler, dude was great for us last season. Yeah, man. I mean, he would be a very, very good, solid signing. Let's see if the Raiders are able to keep him. That would be pretty big. I mean, you could have him up in the center with Christian Wilkins, and then have Max Crosby, and hopefully Malcolm Kuntz is back as well, but you can't re-sign everybody, so got to keep that in mind. My guy Angel says, I met in LA in the tailgate. Nice, man. The weather out there at the tailgate in LA is way better than the weather out here in Las Vegas for the tailgate. If anybody in Instagram watching me right now has a TikTok, please follow me over there. On Instagram, I'm Harry_Ruiz. On TikTok, I'm Harry Ruiz _. So if you can shoot me a follow over there, that would help out a lot. I'm trying to grow my following there, and that would be of great assistance. Hopefully, y'all can help me out. That would be fantastic. But yeah, right now just checking out some wrestling live. Let's see what AEW got going on. My guy Bobby Machado, producer extraordinaire over at Raider Nation Radio, Lotus Broadcasting. Watch for a vid. Jose de la Roca here. He's from ESPN Los Angeles. He does a fantastic job. People behind the scenes, they're the ones that deserve a lot of praise, deserve a lot of folks giving them a round of applause for the work they do. Yeah, good. I just brought a brand new MacBook Air to be able to broadcast on Streamlabs desktop. I pay for the service to broadcast on the site that I talk about the Raiders in Spanish on Somos Malosos. And with it now I can broadcast as well on pages like TikTok and Instagram simultaneously as I broadcast on Facebook and on Twitch and on YouTube, which is where I usually get more traction for folks speaking about the silver and black. And right now I'm just like, hey, you know what? I want to watch some wrestling. That's what I'm doing. I want to interact with folks that are online. Let me see. Chavez, Coons can walk for 20 a year. He doesn't want Coons for 20 a year. Guero Enes Butler is back. Did that get announced, brother? Let me see, because I was over here right now on the computer trying to figure out the stuff with the stream. Let me see. The Raiders are keeping one of their own. Yes, sir. There it is. 3 years worth, $16.5 million, $11 million guaranteed. Stay in Las Vegas. Thanks for the heads up, guys. That helps out a lot. Literally 17 minutes ago, I was trying to figure out the stream and everything that was going down. Thanks, Angel, for the message. My guy, Caleb Custom 7405. He does an amazing job customizing kicks. Check him out. Follow him. He's got a pair for me that he's been taking really good care of, and that hopefully next year I'm able to rock. Damn! Takeshita just kneed the heck out of Kenny Omega right there, and he kicked out at 1. That was good. That was good. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved going to Crypto.com Arena, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be busy with work Saturday night yesterday, so I wasn't able to plan in advance. AEW is going to be in town next Saturday. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up going to that show. It's going to be a Collision live broadcast. They got the Undisputed Kingdom, I think they call him now. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus FTR. That should be pretty cool. And my guy says I will get those shoes soon. He had to change them a bit. I gotta shoot you a call pretty soon to make that happen, to see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, he did amazing work. I'm pretty sure I posted a picture of it on my Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry. So if y'all don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I used to watch a lot of WWE, but then I soured out on the product. AEW started, and I got into AEW big time, so that's where I consume my wrestling, not with Monday Night Raw, not with Friday Night SmackDown, or any of the stuff that they got going. And same thing, Wednesdays, that's my distraction from the real world, let's call it that way. Watching a wrestling show, enjoying that, having fun, and just disconnecting from the world for a little bit. I know there's folks that aren't big into wrestling, but hey, I am, so I gotta keep tabs with it as often as possible. My guy Ace, shout out to him, tuning in on TikTok. Mindy, Joe, and yeah, Ace says they got TNA Friday and Saturday. That's right. I was thinking about heading out there for those shows, but I ended up not going. They come to Vegas at least like twice a year, so I usually get to see them. And the roster evolves a lot, so. And then also right now they got that association with NXT, and it seems more like WWE developmental light instead of NXT. So I'm like, I don't watch WWE, like I said. I saw that John Cena turned heel. That was pretty cool. I saw the clip on social media. But then at the same time, how many times has John Cena appeared on screen live since that heel turn happened? Not once. So it's the same, you know what. Part-time players. Here you go. Kenny Omega. He's going to go for the one-winged angel. Or nope. Not yet. Sorry, guys and gals. I'm posting on the La Nacion, the Somos Malosos, sorry, social media about the Adam Butler re-signing. There you go, Kenny. No one-winged angel there. Man, and you know what? And here's something I was thinking about earlier, too, when I was driving back home from getting some food to start watching the pay-per-view. I complain a lot about WWE. Roll-up? Really? They do this all the time. And I get tired about it. They have a great match, and the finish isn't conclusive and pretty amazing. And Kenny can put on a great match, and usually the finish is the best part of the match, and they got a roll-up to finish an incredible match. That's nonsense. Have your finisher. Have something awesome happen, not just a damn roll-up. Ugh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just posting here on social media right now, and I'll go back to some of the comments. I see that there's some on Instagram, so bear with me for a sec. Twitter is out now. Let's go with Instagram, and this goes to Facebook and Threads, and then I'll just go to YouTube, and I'll be good to continue here. Alright, let me go over here. Annalise, big shout out to Aaron Jones with Minnesota, 20 mil. Yeah, shout out to Annalise, shout out to her parents, Javier and Xochitl, amazing family out there in El Paso, Texas. Keep doing your thing. I see you doing great in school. Keep it up, keep it up. Hope to see you out here in Las Vegas later this year for a Raider game. But yeah, that was something, man, I was hoping that some way, somehow, the Raiders would end up having Aaron Jones in their squad, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. He signs for 2 more years in Minnesota. Jose La Roca, tough loss today for U.S. Women's versus UCLA. The good thing is I still think UCLA is going to have, at worst, a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Would have been awesome to beat UCLA and sweep them in 3 consecutive games this season, but 2-1, who knows? Maybe you get to see them later in the tournament. Raider Gons says, overall, what do you feel about AEW? There's no long-form storytelling or stories that they stick with, I feel, will be bad long-term. Tots, to be honest, yes, I agree. There's no super long form storytelling with them as there is in WWE, but at the same time, like I wasn't watching WWE these last 5 years pretty much, but I always listen to Wrestle Talk in the mornings. Like while I walk my dog, I listen to Wrestle Talk, and they pretty much recap Raw, SmackDown, the pay-per-views, any big show, or Keeping It 100 with Conan. I'm on their Patreon, and I can listen to their stuff, what they think about the shows. when Roman Reigns, that was long-term storytelling, and he was the champ for however long he was, a record-setting championship. Every match seemed to be the same. Move, 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 and at the end, somebody interrupted, and Roman Reigns got the pin. They distracted the ref, Roman Reigns would win. I was like, dude, do something different there. Same thing as right here, that I'm pissed off that they do finishes without a finisher, without a finishing move. I'm like, dude, that's lazy booking in my opinion. And yes, El Pandita says, and new Kenny Omega has a belt. I hope that means now we get to see Kenny Omega at least once a week. Watch him on Wednesdays. Watch him on Saturdays. Give me a reason to tune in to Collision. This week, I didn't watch the Go Home show for Dynamite until yesterday. That's how disconnected I am with the product, where it's not like a sense of urgency that I have to be tuned in Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Most of the times I do watch AEW Dynamite live, but there are times that I'm like, well, I don't feel like I need to watch it live. I'll watch it later. And that never used to happen. So let's see what goes down there. Now the cage match. This one right here should steal the show. Cal Fletcher, Will Ospreay. Those two guys, they are monsters. They are beasts. They are two of the best wrestlers in the world. So hopefully I get to watch a classic here tonight. Yeah, Cal Fletcher ended up shaving his head and became a pretty good character on the show. I mean, I think it was pretty stupid that he shaved his head without having a hair versus hair match or something, a stipulation. But well, I've said it. It has worked. I just think they should have done better as a lucha fan. Raider Gone says, I've been on board with AEW since day one. I just came back to watch WWE since the Netflix change. I feel AEW had the best roster at one point, but the booking has dropped the ball. Yeah, man. I mean, I love great wrestling matches. That's why when Kenny and the Bucks were in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I was watching New Japan Pro Wrestling because I felt connected with some of the characters out there in New Japan. Nowadays, they're pretty much just Japanese guys I don't understand, or guys that I don't really know, so I don't watch New Japan, but I get my fix of great matches in AEW. I just wish they did a little bit better. Like the build they did for MJF versus Hangman Page, I really enjoyed. Ospreay Fletcher, it was decent. What they did for Kenny Omega versus Kanusuka Takeshita didn't make sense at all. They made Kanusuka Takeshita have to wrestle to them face Kenny Omega. He was the champion. I mean, come on, man. They got to do better when it comes to that. Power Raider, what up? How you doing, man? Good seeing you there. Aunt 6 Soldier Harry, what quarterbacks do you like in the draft? I mean, I know there's a lot of negative comments around Shedeur Sanders as of late. I still think if he drops to 6, or there's scenarios now, people saying that if the Raiders trade back, they might still be able to get him. I think if you can get him at the number 6 spot, or if you trade back and he's still there, I would go for him. If not, I mean, Jackson Dart, I wouldn't draft him in the first round. I would wait for the second round. And now that they have Geno Smith, I would even be good waiting until the third round to see who's still available there. Excuse me for getting some popcorn, but I'm watching my wrestling, so I gotta get some popcorn in while I'm watching the show. And thanks, Raider Gons, for sharing your thoughts about AEW. Definitely, they're not as good as they were at the beginning, but still, it's the alternative, and there's stuff with WWE that I just don't like. So there are less negatives, in my opinion, from what I watch in AEW that I like than with WWE. Yeah, I would always hate with WWE that WrestleMania season would come, and all the guys and girls that were bust their tails off all year long would then be in the back seat for The Rock or The Undertaker or John Cena. I'm like, man, these guys are there storytelling all year long, and then in the biggest show of the year, they're in the second match. That's nuts. Am I going to do the Raiders cruise at the end of the month? No, I wasn't invited. I wasn't required, so I ain't going to be there. I'm going to be at home. New entrance theme for Will Ospreay. Okay, my name is Will Ospreay and I'm in another level, but it's got to be the traditional theme. They got a huge crowd today. You gotta have them yelling and screaming Ospreay, Ospreay, right? Apparently it is a new theme song for Will Ospreay. They're going with the On Another Level theme. Who's my favorite wrestler today? I would have to say Will Ospreay. That guy puts on matches that are nuts. And he's there more often than Kenny Omega. God damn, this thing has been going on for like a minute and a half and Will still hasn't come out. Alright, so now he's going to come out with his original theme song, right? He's there. Spotlight on him. Original theme song, yep. Favorite male, female wrestler in AEW. Male wrestler, definitely Will Ospreay. The Billy Goat. I remember watching him in 2016 in WrestleCon in Dallas. That was my first time ever just finding out about him, and then shortly after he went to New Japan and he became the legend that he has become nowadays. He's like 40-something 5+ star matches. He's a guarantee of putting on a show. So, men's Will Ospreay. Women's, I'm a huge Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné mark. Because she was super cool with me when she went to El Paso in 2016. But I haven't been a huge fan of her run as of late. Right now, it's interesting. Harley Cameron, I would say, is my favorite woman wrestler in AEW. I really enjoy her character and all the work that she's doing. And that goes to show you, it's like, hey, it's more about the character than about the wrestling in most of the cases. But Will Ospreay, he's been doing a great job. The promo that he cut on Saturday in a backstage promo with Collision was really good. Ospreay and Harley Cameron right now. I'd say those two. Caleb Custom says, now that we got a veteran QB, would it be better to keep AOC as a second stringer since he already knows what it's like in the NFL and knows how to play at a top level, or draft a young quarterback? I still think the Raiders might draft a young quarterback and have Aiden O'Connell there and just run it with 3 quarterbacks on the roster, to be honest. Especially nowadays with the NFL, how it goes, and you've seen how many backup quarterbacks have been playing in the league as of late. I think no matter what, you keep Aiden O'Connell. You've seen that he's a serviceable backup. He's a guy that can come in, and if a guy is hurt in front of him, like it happened with Jimmy Garoppolo in 2023, or like it happened in 2024 when Gardner Minshew wasn't producing, he can give you a result coming off the bench or in a cleanup role, let's call it that way, when your quarterback is hurt. So I think the Raiders should keep O'Connell no matter what. He's on the third year of his deal. He's on his rookie contract. I would see if it'd be very bad if they trade him, to be honest. I don't think he's the guy that might take the team to the Super Bowl, but I absolutely see him as a guy that can help this roster by being on the roster. If you're watching on Instagram and you have a TikTok, right there, Harry Ruiz _ do me a huge favor. Shoot me a follow there. Like the video if you're watching on TikTok. Like this stream. I'm more than likely going to be streaming live tomorrow once some news of free agency starts popping up. So make sure you check it out right there. I'm live on my YouTube today for the first time. Harry Ruiz there is how you can find me on YouTube. Let's see what goes down. And I'm also on my personal Facebook, which if you're watching me there, thank you for tuning in. Ooh. I hope not, but Will Ospreay might have gotten hurt there. And if not, he sold it real good. Armando Carrasco, go Dodgers. Thank you, my brother. Proud of you. I see you're doing great stuff out there in the school. Nena Insilaco, shout out to Nina. When are they signing my Spillane? I'm eating popcorn too, no lie. Nina, I'm waiting. I want them to re-sign Spillane. I would love to see him with the Raiders for more time. But Nick Bolton got signed today by the Chiefs, and he signed for 3 years, $45 million. And I think it was $30 million guaranteed for him. That pretty much set the table up for Robert Spillane to, instead of signing with the Raiders before free agency, to be like, you know what, let me go see how my market is in the next couple of days, because he's able to go and negotiate with other teams and potentially come to the Raiders and check if they would match whatever he gets offered out there. But I think that Robert Spillane is better than Nick Bolton. His stats the last 2 years show you that. But we got to see if he ends up getting paid that way or not. It'll be definitely interesting. D-Rod89, compa Harry, échale ganas. Saludos, D-Rod. Pechan MX20, saludos a toda la familia Raiders, en especial al Raider Nation Wrecking Crew, Ciudad de México. Un abrazo fuerte, hermano. Saludos, carnalito. Gracias por estar aquí al pendiente y por el apoyo. Pollinator, shout out to Paul here on Instagram too. A lot of folks coming in and out. Instead of just watching Revolution right now, I said, you know what? Let me stream. No lie, I'm kind of regretting it because I want to be watching and focusing on what's happening. But you know what? It's always great being able to interact with the folks out here on social media land and make it something that I do a little bit more often. Yeah, so how about the news today? Myles Garrett. He stopped Max Crosby from being the best paid non-quarterback in the NFL in only 4 days. He signed a new deal averaging $40 million per year, including $123.5 million in guaranteed money. So the guy that was parading himself all over Media Row in Super Bowl week, talking about the trade and saying, yeah, I'm not going back and this and that. They flashed $40 million in front of him per year, and he went back in a heartbeat. DK Metcalf, he's going to the Steelers, a second-round pick. How about that? He's a great wide receiver, but a second-round pick, and then giving him a deal that pretty much is going to pay him for the next 5 seasons $150 million. You gave up a lot of capital if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then you also made a huge economic commitment with him. I hope he delivers for them, because if not, man, they're going to regret that trade. And yeah, Go Power Raider says he was waiting for Mac's contract to come out first. You got to give a lot of props to the Raiders for jumping on the situation. Oh, Damn, Osprey's amazing. Sorry about that. You got to give the Raiders credit on jumping on that situation and paying Max Crosby before a guy like Myles Garrett agreed to a deal with the Browns, or before a guy like Micah Parsons, who will eventually sign a contract with the Cowboys or elsewhere. Now, Crosby set the bar, and it got reset now. The market did by Myles Garrett. So instead of having to pay Max $40+ million a year, they're able to pay him 35, and he is happy. He is a Raider. Shout out to everybody that has gone over to TikTok and given me a like there. That helps out a lot. Got to start getting my act together on TikTok. I'm actually organically growing the one on Somos Malosos, where I speak in Spanish about the Raiders, and I usually stream on Somos Malosos for like an hour if I'm by myself, for 2 hours if I'm with my buddies Demian from Chicago or Ricardo from Mexico City. And I paid for a service that clips all those long streams and gives you shorts for either Instagram or TikTok, and that has been of a lot of help there to be able to post content twice or 3 times a day. And like I said, tomorrow I'm more than likely going to be streaming on the Spanish side, just live reactions of free agency, of the moves that happen, and same thing. Those then go on to shorts, because there are, in Mexico and Latin America, people love those long shows. If you do an hour or 2 hours, they'll tune in and they'll watch those long shows. Out here in the States, people love 30 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes tops when it comes to content. And so that's why TikTok is so popular. Instagram Reels has been getting better. So that's why I'm like, all right, we got to hit everywhere in that situation and be able to get stuff going on all media, all social media nowadays. Have a blessed night, bro. Going to eat with the family. Peace. And as always, go Raiders. Shout out to Go Power Raider. Follow him on Instagram and all social media. Sheesh. Man. Will Osprey and Fletcher, man. They're going to put on a classic. And you know what? It's pretty smart on Osprey wearing white pants, because he's already bleeding, so it's going to make the visual even better. Josh Kamenite, shout out to Raider Dad tuning in today. Amazing job, amazing mission. Were you able to get kids out to the baseball games over there at the Las Vegas ballpark? I know pretty much if there's an event in town, you figure out a way to get local kids out there. So shout out to you, brother. I know it's unprofessional to be eating popcorn while I'm live anywhere, but I'm like, you know what? I'm watching my wrestling show. That's what I usually do when watching wrestling and having popcorn. Josh says we weren't. Maybe when they are here full time. Yeah, I get it too. Those spring training games, I'm a huge baseball fan. I don't go to spring training. I rather spend my money when it's regular season action, when it's real baseball. Shout out from EP, bro. Watched since I was a kid on TV. Shout out to Brian Bunny for tuning in on Instagram Live. You know, it's crazy. I get people telling me that nowadays. It kind of makes me feel old, but at the same time, I'm like, well, hey, you know what? It just shows, man. You never know who's watching. Sam Guzman, if you're still in El Paso, Sam Guzman from KTSM. He's a sports director there now. I took a picture with him in 2016. I was just talking about Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. And he was there at the airport as a fan, just like I was waiting for the wrestlers. And he went up to me. He's like, hey, man, can I take a picture with you? I'm like, yeah, of course. So it's been pretty cool seeing him grow become a sportscaster, become a sports director, and then go back to think about it. 9 years ago, I took a picture with him when he was a kid. And same thing as you said right now, that you used to watch me on TV. That's pretty crazy, pretty cool. Josh Kamenite, Raider Dad says, I can't wait for baseball to be here. I don't know if everyone will be the same. Man, eventually people will adapt and get into it. I know baseball isn't for everybody, same way as football isn't for everybody, same way as basketball isn't for everybody. Me personally, I love being able to go to a ballpark and sitting there for 3 hours watching a baseball game, or nowadays 2.5 hours. That's something I enjoy. That's something I love. And my lady and I we entered to get deposits for the season tickets whenever they come out on sale. I hope it's not PSLs. I hope it's just season tickets. But that's what it's like. Hey, if we're able to get season tickets, she's an Astros fan. We'll go to every A's Astros game, and then the Dodgers will come into town every other year. We would definitely be there for those games. And then other games, being able to hook up other folks, or if we got a Tuesday night and we're not doing anything and there's a baseball game, go out and enjoy it. I'd be able to watch the Dodgers on my phone and watch everything else live there in person. Yes, Raider 2429 says Adam Butler. Yes, we were able to get a player and keep him in-house. That was pretty cool for the Raiders. You're able to keep that middle sealed. That's good. That's great for the silver and black, in my opinion. One down and a bunch to go is what Vinny Bonsignor says, of course. Yeah, last year the deal didn't happen as he wanted to in free agency. This year he was able to get it. Congratulations to him. Now let's see if there's any more wheeling and dealing for the Raiders and before free agency. Tomorrow, if the Raiders don't come to an agreement with Robert Spillane, tomorrow he'll be able to talk with everybody. If they don't come to an agreement with Nate Hobbs today, by the end of the day or by early tomorrow morning, he'll be able to talk with other teams. Him, his agency, folks that represent him. Damn. But yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we end up getting Spillane back. I'm a big Nate Hobbs guy, so I would love Nate Hobbs to come back. Adam Butler, he did a great job, not only on the field, but also mentoring the younger players there on the team. That's also something that's sometimes not observed as much, but he was a great leader in that Raiders locker room. Oh, damn, I just found a new stream for the Revolution pay-per-view, and this one looks awesome. It's the Prime stream. Shout out to everybody tuning in on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. My mom is watching on Facebook, so appreciate her. And yeah, Josh says, I got to see the prices first to make the commitment. Football is easier. It's not as many games. I agree. 81 games, man. When I used to be a Dodger season ticket holder, I started paying $5 a game. Nowadays, I think my former neighbors up in the top deck, they pay like $40 a game. Times 81, that's a lot of money. Yeah, if you go 81 times 35, that's $2,800. And you got to see, like, hey, you know that the Yankees are going to be coming here every year, so if you look at it as on the business side, you might be able to make some of your money back, which at the end of the day, that's what I would try to do. Sell some of the tickets that I can sell because they got high demand. Ooh, there you go, Osprey. Try to sell some of the tickets that are on high demand and try to make up some money to pay off the season tickets, and then be able to enjoy more games and donate some tickets to also for Raider Dad. What do you think they'll do about Coons? That's a very interesting one. I think the best thing for Coons to do would be to stay with the Raiders. Patrick Graham being in the same system for the 4th year in a row, being surrounded by Max Crosby, by Christian Wilkins, by Adam Butler. I mean, I think Coons would be helping his career if he ends up staying with the Dodgers. The Raiders, sorry. See, I'm already talking about baseball. MC Raider in the house. Blessings, my brother. Shout out to MC Raider tuning in from Cali. You know, the funny part is, right now in the AEW show, there's a wrestler that just opened the cage. Guess the wrestler's name? Mark Davis. The same name as the Raiders owner. Just opened the cage. Threw in a chair for Kyle Fletcher. These guys used to be teammates in United Empire. Oh! Damn, he just got his head kicked in by Will Ospreay with the cage. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm more than likely tomorrow going to stream for a bit. I've been here for 40 minutes now, but tomorrow I'm more than likely going to come in and stream for a bit and talk about free agency now knowing what's going down. But tonight I wanted to experiment, come through and talk about what's going down with AEW Revolution. Got a couple of folks talking about Revolution, so that was pretty cool. Thanks for